In Between. Episode 3. By AMAH'S. After talking to Jane, her friend suggested that she call and inform him right away. Veronica already knew what exactly she's supposed to do, she only needed a little more push. She called him and Pete told her that he was busy with work and he will get back to her when he is free. Veronica waited all day but Pete never called back. She decided to call him again that evening but he was not picking. He later sent a message that he was occupied and not fully free. He will call her back later. Veronica did not sleep that night as he waited and kept hoping Pete will call. She slept off eventually and when she wakes up in the middle of the night she quickly checked her phone, hoping to see maybe a text or missed calls but none was on the screen. The following morning she called again. "Hello Pete. You never called back again yesterday. We need to talk," she said immediately. Pete picked up. "Hey honey. Good morning to you too. I'm sorry I couldn't call back yesterday. I'm driving right now and I will definitely call you once I pack. That's a promise." Veronica agreed and waited for his call. But after 2 hours and Pete still did not call, she was boiling with anger and picked up her phone to text him. Just then Pete called. "I'm sorry babe. A new product just came in and my company picked me as part of the marketing team that will take it to different pharmaceutical stores within the state for proper introduction. Well, that is what that have been keeping me busy darling and I'm really sorry that I haven't called back as promised. You sounded serious earlier. What is the problem? Do you need money?" "Pete, money isn't everything. I know you have money and all but it's truly not enough. We seriously need to talk. Is not a phone call talk. I wish you can come around or I come over. Anyone." Pete sighed impatiently before saying, "No Vero. That won't be possible. I can't see you this week or even throughout this month. I just explained how busy I am to you. I expect you to understand. You can tell me whatever it is over the phone." Okay. Okay fine. When are we really getting married Pete? It's almost a year that I have been engaged to you. I'm already 28 years and times is flying. You haven't given me a specific time and that worries me a lot. My family. Some of the people in the church are asking questions and Pete interrupted her. "I don't care about the people in your church or any other person Vero. They can't contribute anything to our lives. They're only there to gossip. We will get married Vero. Give me more time. I didn't plan for things to go this way. I thought we will be officially married couples by now but I can't beat nature that took a different route for me. You usually say God has a plan for everything. Maybe you're right. At his perfect plan it will happen. Just be praying for me to hit it big. I'm working my ass off to buy us everything good, have establishment, a nice house to call home and other additional things. Is your patient I need and I have always tell you not to worry yourself out. Is unnecessary my love. I just need a specific time Pete. I believe you and loves you but I want to know when exactly. My heart will be at rest if you tell me. Because I'm pregnant." There was silence at the other end. Pete was quiet and didn't respond. She checked her phone to be sure that the call hadn't ended mistakenly. But it was still ongoing and Pete haven't replied yet. Hello. Hello, Pete. Are you still there? Hello. Did you hear what I said? I'm pregnant, Pete. Pete. Hello. He suddenly cleared his voice and said, You can't be pregnant, Vero. I mean, I expected you to be careful, to quickly clean up after sex. Do you intend trapping me or forcing me to marry you with this nonsense that you're saying? How will you allow such mistake? You're 28, Vero, and not 11 years old child that wouldn't know what to do. How could let this happen? Veronica laughed annoyingly before saying, So, this is my fault, right? You're blaming me for this. Do you know how careful I have been ever since we started sleeping together just to avoid falling pregnant? I never wanted to get pregnant until I'm properly married, and I can never trap you with pregnancy, Pete. When we met, I wasn't desperate for marriage. It was after the engagement and no sign of marriage in view I started getting worried. And now I'm pregnant. I didn't let this happen by choice. I avoided it as much as I can until now. I'm sorry, but we need to think a way forward or out of this. My people, which includes my church members, can't possibly know. I will be doomed. I don't know if I will be able to survive the shame. Pete, please. Let's do something right and fast. Pete cleared his voice again, interrupting her. You kept mentioning your people and church member Vero. Since you care so much about them, then go and marry them. What is wrong with you? Hope you're aware that you can't keep the pregnancy, Vero. I'm not ready for a baby now, and I know you care about your reputation, your family, your church, and friends who respect and also count on your integrity. For me, I'm very much into my job, especially now that there's a means to make extra cash from this new product that arrives. I won't let anything get in the way for me. Honey, I love you, don't get me wrong, but this is a wrong timing. You will have to get rid of it. You can't keep it. If you need money, I can transfer money for you to go get rid of it. I don't want to be involved with anything pregnancy. My job is my major priority, Vero. I want to make a lot of money for us. Our future will be bright when we finally settle down. But you need to clean that mistake because I'm not interested. Count me out of it. Is just a fetus, go and get rid of it. God forbids it. Fornicating was enough sin, but committing murder is unforgivable. God have mercy on you for even suggesting that without thinking. Is not just a fetus, Pete. This is the process every human was formed and birthed. I have already offended God enough, and I'm trying to get back in line of total service to Him. I will never get rid of this pregnancy. Abortion is not even an option because it will never happen. I can't, Pete. That's having blood stain in my hand which can never be washed off. These are part of the things I preach against in my teenage class. I know I haven't been practicing what I teach, but God forbids it. I won't do what you're asking. Pete, there should be a way. Even if it's a small wedding or introduction. So that it will appear like I'm married before this pregnancy began to show. Please, Pete. Hello, Pete. Are you listening to me? Veronica checked her phone and realized that he had ended the call since, and she has been talking to herself. Veronica became really troubled. She did not know what to do or who to run to. Pete claims to love her, but he is no longer the man she thought he was. A God-fearing man won't open his mouth without fear to ask her to commit abortion. Rather, he will find a way to make things right. What have she gotten herself into now? God, please. Have mercy on me. Have mercy. Help me out of this mess that I'm into. Save me, Lord. I know I'm unworthy. I know I have fallen off, but Father, because of your abundant grace, please do not look at my iniquities. Save me. God, please. I'm still your daughter and will serve you better than ever if you can help me out of this. Oh, Jesus Christ. Lord. Don't allow me to be doomed. Veronica kept praying and continued confessing. She asked God to change Pete's heart so that he can start thinking of settling down with her. A week passed and still no sign of Pete. She was distracted and couldn't even concentrate at work. She came up with the idea to go to the church and talk to her pastor. Jane called to know what she intended doing since Pete is not even picking her calls again. She told her that she does not know what exactly to do. She was hoping for some miracle so that Pete will do the needful. Veronica summoned courage and went to her pastor. She told her pastor about the man who engaged her, but ever since then he is no more talking about settling down. The seriousness she saw in him before the engagement is no more there. The pastor asked her if they were already sleeping together, and she said it only happened twice, and the first was a mistake. The second time was because they went for a party and got drunk. Veronica lied and said she had already asked God to forgive her and such won't happen again. She hid the fact that she was pregnant already. The pastor prayed for her and told her that Pete may not be God's will for her, but Veronica, who can't afford the shame of single parenting or even abortion, told her pastor that Pete is only caught up with money making and wanting to give her the world. She told him that Pete loves her and she can't afford to lose him. The pastor asked her to keep praying and also include fasting for about 3 days, that God will show her mercy. Veronica went home. Sometimes when she kneeled to pray, she will be carried away in her thought of Pete. After few more days, Pete called and told her he was coming over. He asked her if she later aborted the pregnancy and she told him no. Pete did not say anything as he ended the call. Veronica was overjoyed and made Pete's favorite meal as she waited for him. She called her pastor to inform him that the prayer worked. God has finally answered her. Her pastor asked her not to relax yet, that she should continue praying. She agreed. Veronica waited all through the day. Pete said he was going to come over, but she didn't see him. She called him and he picked and told her that he was driving. He informed her that he was called in for some emergency at work and couldn't make it to her place again. Another week came and went by without Pete showing up or even calling, and Veronica's worries increased. She was worse than before because as the days goes, her pregnancy kept advancing.